Hello, and welcome to Scara's Screamcast. I think this is episode 5. Here we are, right? Let's see, I'm checking both cameras. Okay, I think everything's good to go. I've been having some technical difficulties the last few of these that I've done, but I think we've got it figured out. Yay, us. All right. So, today is November 5th, 2025. I am set to go to Salem on Saturday if the FAA allows it. I saw today that they are canceling flights, a bunch of flights, especially over airspaces that are usually busy. So we'll see if I make it there at all, if the flight's gonna get there. Honestly, I'm a little scared about getting stuck in Massachusetts, or as some say, Massachusetts or Massachusetts, but I call it Massachusetts because I'm kind. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about today. First things first, let's see, how's your head dress? I have no complaints, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. Let's see, is this, okay. Oh my God. I made this, guys. Look at it. I get, how do you say in English, hyperfixated. I get hyperfixated on things. Last year, around the same time of the year, I started painting Halloween pumpkin pails to decorate my dressing room at Bat City. And this year, I decided I wanted a really elaborate headpiece to wear for our Halloween performance at Bat City Scaregrounds, and this is it. This is it, boys. Hold on, let me see which camera it looks better in. Wow, I'm showing the camera now. Sorry, there was some dead air. Dead air is left over from my days in radio. Anyways, it's all the way around. Oh, now it feels like ASMR as the tool just gently rubs against the microphone. See that? This sucker took me, I would say 3 to 4 days, several hours. Several. Let me put her back down. Hold on. But I get hyperfixated. What's a witch to do? You know, I get started, I can't stop, and then next thing you know, I'm at the dang Hobby Lobby buying, Christmas decorations, which came in clutch, honestly, because I needed a bunch of white sparkly items, all right? Hello, everyone that's joined the live. Thanks for being here. Anyway, I think the next headdress I want to do is going to be bats. I want to have like a bat headpiece. That'll be wild. All of my elaborate costume pieces are usually for the Immortals performances, not necessarily for regular Scara stuff or for Scara Scream Theater. For Scara Scream Theater, I'll dress like in theme of the movie, which can be fun. When I showed Bone Tomahawk, I got to put together a Western witch look, which was really cool. I had a good time with that. This last time we showed the Abominable Dr. Phibes, and I wore this kind of overcoat with fuzzy collar and cuffs, and I wore one of those big puffy black hats. But I'm not sure. I haven't chosen the movie for Scary Scream Theater for December. Anybody want to give me some ideas for some excellent December and or Christmas horror movies? Go ahead. I've already thought of a few, and I've already shown a few. So, I'm open to suggestions on that. I like the ones that aren't necessarily about serial killer Santa Clauses. Like I kind of like keeping Santa Claus for the children, but I'm okay with it. I already did. I showed Silent Night, Deadly Night, of course, and that was fun for all. That movie traumatized me as a child, though, okay? It really did. Freaked me the hell out. Had nuns in it, Santa Claus, all the stuff of my childhood, and I saw it when I was way too young. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of, well, no, let's not get there yet. No, let's do it now. How about now? Let's get it going. Speaking of Christmas movies, the very first Christmas horror that I showed was Black Christmas from 1974, the original. I don't mess with those remakes. I've seen the remakes, and the most recent remake of it gross, gag me. You know what I mean? It was very much too much of a bully movie towards the male persuasion, I would say. Now, I'm all for putting a man in his place when he needed, but I'm not for like just hammering, like with a sledgehammer, the male chromosome just for views or whatever. I don't know. The story was lost, and it was mostly just bashing dudes. And again, if it's warranted, bash away, but it's not necessary. You see, in Black Christmas 1974, I really feel like they truly had some magic there. It's my friend Michael Minat likes to say, shot for shot, the perfect movie. There is not like an extra frame in that movie. It moves along and the pacing's perfect. So let me tell you what I said about it back in the day, back when I first showed this movie for the very first Scary Scream Theater Christmas screening. So I said, did Black Christmas give birth to Halloween, the movie, I mean? Black Christmas, along with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was also released in 1974, is considered to be the first slasher film. For many, it was the first time they saw a masked man hunting down teenagers until a final girl remains, creating many of the tropes that define the genre. Let's talk about Bob Clark, okay? Bob Clark, the director, he's not even famous mostly for this film, even though it's so great. He mastered basically 3 genres of film. He directed the first sex comedy, Porky's, and he had a monster of a family Christmas movie. I'm talking about 1983's A Christmas Story. You know the one, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. That Bob Clark. So he did Porky's, A Christmas Story, and he did this one, Black Christmas. Bob Clark and John Carpenter were friends, okay? John was a fan of Black Christmas, and in a 2005 interview with Icons of Fright, Bob Clark relates that there were never any plans to do a sequel. And after Black Christmas, he was, period, and the end, done with horror. He goes on to say that John Carpenter asked him if he were to do a sequel, what would it look like? And he told John that it would be the next year, the setting would be the next year, and that the guy would have actually been caught, and then he would escape from a mental institution and go back to the house, and they would start all over again. And I would call it Halloween. Now, listen, this is what Bob Clark's saying, and this is the plot of Halloween, okay? That's exactly what happens in Halloween. So you tell me, is that where John Carpenter got the idea for it? Yes, I'm going to say yes, it is. And that's fine. That's cool. We all borrow from each other. And Bob Clark said he didn't want to do anymore, so whatever. Okay. Bob Clark was also quick to say that Carpenter didn't rip off Black Christmas. He didn't put it that way. He didn't want to cast it in that light. John did, he wrote the script for this movie. He cast it, he directed it. And let's see. Oh, no. John wrote the script for Halloween. Before he even talked to Bob, apparently he called it Halloween. Is that right? John, yeah. Oh, whoa, sorry, some noise in the background. Now, Halloween came out in 1978, and it's often thought of as the horror movie that started the slasher phenomenon, spanning all through the 80s, and it gave us horror with a masked man that, hunts down a teenager until the final girl remains. Again, very similar to Black Christmas. In Halloween, there's a game of cat and mouse where the opening point of view shots tracks the killer as he walks through a house. But 4 years prior to Halloween doing it, Black Christmas did it. Or did Texas Chainsaw Massacre do it first? It's all muddled. I don't know. I would say Texas Chainsaw and Black Christmas kind of neck and neck for the first slasher film. Now, if you don't know, Italian horror, specifically giallo horror, it was the prequel to slashers here in America. A lot of the elements of giallo horror films seeped into Black Christmas, seeped into Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and other things, but that's just an aside. So John Carpenter and his movie Halloween deserve all of the accolades they have received, but Bob Clark is just as deserving. So put some respect on his name. You know what I mean? Black Christmas is a beautiful film. The sorority house is a 70s decor dream, and it's my dream house interior. Dark wood, shag carpeting, pornography on the walls. Well, I actually do have pornography on my walls. If you can, I don't know what you consider pornography, but I have some nude ladies on my Halloween or my hallway walls. Okay. There's a butthole flower painting in Black Christmas. If you haven't seen it, I promise you there is a butthole flower painting. I'm just laughing that I actually said those words on this podcast. I don't apologize for it. Okay, so I think that's how I ended the speech. Basically, I ended it on butthole flower, but and that's great. But that was, and Margot Kidder's in the movie. I love her. I first saw her, of course, like every other kid in Superman, but she is such a phenomenal smartass in this movie. Love her. Yeah, I think that's all I really said. Well, I mean, I wrote a bunch of stuff about it. There's a lot on Bob Clark, but I'm not going to go into it. But I do recommend that if you haven't seen Black Christmas, you watch it. And if you have seen it, why not watch it again? You know what I mean? Oh, look, somebody's saying something. Black Christmas is iconic. We're looking forward to watching the 4K UHD release this season. Tales of Salem says that. Yeah, dude, it is super iconic. Not just as a Christmas movie, but as a horror movie in general. But, it's so beautiful. The lighting was great. Sketchy Kid 05. Oh, hey, it's Sky. Hope you have a spooktacular night, Scara. Thank you. I'm reading some of the comments here. Coat Carl says, good evening, and good evening to you, Coat Carl. All right, what do I have coming up? I have a murder mystery this Thursday at Mama Merlot's, and I wanted to tell you about that. So a while back, I got asked to do these murder mysteries. Mama Merlot's is the speakeasy-style bar located on the property of Doc's Drive-In Theater, where I host Scare Scream Theater. And the owners of Mama Merlot's asked if I would want to host murder mysteries for them, and I said yes, and they were so nice to ask me. And what I find interesting about these is that I'm used to hosting horror events, right? And at horror events, it's usually, it's usually horror people that go. You know what I mean by that? I mean, big-time horror fans, tattooed people that wear black T-shirts only. You know, their closet's all black T-shirts of various bands and horror movies. People with different colored hair. Alternative people, metal fans, horror fans, punk fans. That's what I'm used to seeing at the events that I host. So when I started doing the murder mysteries, it was not these people. The people that go to murder mysteries are vanilla, and I don't mean that in a bad way. This isn't to put them down. This is just to separate the flavors of humans, okay? If horror people are strawberry, murder mystery people are vanilla. Maybe, Mexican vanilla or vanilla bean, the good kind. Not just boring vanilla. They got a little flavor in them, obviously, because they want to go to these murder mysteries. They want to dress up. They want to pretend play. They want to act. They want to take on a role. They want to get a little loose and get a little silly and forget their life for a while. That's what they do. And I lead them into it. And I have found joy in doing so. In the beginning, I remember it being not difficult to host, but it being, I would really have to get in the headspace to host it because it was not an audience I was used to is what I was thinking, but that's not the case because I get along with anybody, okay? I think what my problem was, it was because it would be an event. A murder mystery is not something that I myself would think that I would typically go to. Now, after hosting them, I see what fun they are, but they're definitely for a certain type of person, and it's not the usual person that I see at horror conventions or horror film festivals or whatnot. It's interesting. It's fun having a different slice, I guess, to interact with. It's good for everyone. And yes, I always appear as Scara at those things. And I don't know, they're going well. I do them all the time. So I think they're going okay. You know what I mean? I'm trying to see how long. I don't have my little clock on. Okay, what's next? I wanted to give you an update on the Dachshunds of the Doomed. If you've been listening for a while or watching for a while, you know both of my dogs got into something really, really toxic to their liver, and they were almost dead. It was very scary, especially for Gomez. We weren't sure if he was going to make it, but he did. So they both have had their blood work. Herman most recently had his checkup blood work done, and his liver, whatever the liver enzymes, bilirubin, and these other various markers in the blood, whatever they were, that they used to be at, let's say, 14,000 units. They're now down to like 7 units. You know what I mean? It's that big of a difference. I don't have the actual numbers in front of me, so I'm just making them up. But the levels have dropped significantly, which indicates his liver is healing, and he's going to be okay. I still wish I could find whatever it was they got into. I don't know to this day, and that worries me, but I just have to live with that, I guess. I'm going to do a deep dive on their veterinarian records and see how long have they been having high liver enzymes in their blood, because before they got into something super toxic that made them spike really high, they already had elevated levels in their blood. So we don't know if it's underlying liver disease or if somebody's slowly poisoning them. I don't even want to speak power to that, but if they are, again, bail money, there will be a collection plate going around for me. What else I got for you guys? Not much else. You know, when I'm going back to the headdress, I think I get hyperfixated on creative projects because it allows me to think of other creative things. It like turns on that little sector of my brain. But also, when you're really in the zone creatively, whether it's painting or making something, music, whatever it is, when you're really in the zone, you are receiving. You're just receiving. You're like, it's almost like you're not coming up with the ideas. It's more like you're receiving the ideas, you're open to it, and you just implement them. Like I'm building this giant headpiece, and it's like a flow state. I know people say this all the time, but until you really experience it, it doesn't really make sense. I don't even know if I can explain it right, but it is like a flow state where you're receiving the ideas and your hands are like being controlled by something else, and you're just doing it, you know, without really thinking. You're just allowing it to happen. And that's when I think the best work happens. To get into that state, I don't know. I don't know how to get into that state. All I know is that when I am in that state, all I want to do is create. So when I make one project and I complete it and it looks awesome, I want to just get back in and do another one as soon as I can, because I know that I'm close to being in that state and I can get right back into it. If you wait too long to get into that state, it's harder, at least for me, to jump back in. You know what I'm talking about, Vern? Does everybody know what Vern means? Oh, hello, Willie Vodka. Willie is in Austin, Texas, I think. Sorry, I think about what I do here, about reading people's comments. And then I'm like, wait a minute, people are going to be listening to this later, and they're going to be like, who the frick is Willie? And why is she saying hello to him like he's in the room? No, I'm reading comments on the stream. I probably shouldn't do that. I've thought about recording these and then posting them instead of doing them live. And I still might. I don't know what the actual bonus is to doing these live, except for I can just post them right away and I don't have to think about it. I don't want to edit. Because if I do, I'm going to fall into the thing where I'm going to want to add pictures and video clips and all this stuff. And that's going to take so much time. And girlfriend, I don't even have the time. I just said girlfriend like this is a movie from 1992. What is wrong with me? Also, screw you guys, because nobody's calling my number. 512-710-8766. You should call that. 512-710-8766. Ask me a question, leave me a comment. Y'all are all great about leaving comments in the stream. I appreciate it. But now is the time for you to leave a comment on the number. Young Jack did. Young Jack is better than most of you. And young Jack is always welcome on this program because young Jack was the first caller. All right? And young Jack is a huge horror fan, and I want you all to meet young Jack, but he lives somewhere else. If he comes to Austin, he is welcome to be here. Okay. So again, if you have any Christmas movies you really like, besides Black Christmas 1974, I've already showed that. Besides the other one I mentioned, which has already left my brain, then, comment here on YouTube and let me know what you think. What should I show for the December Scare a Scream Theater? I have my murder mystery on Friday the 7th, and then I am flying to Salem on the 8th to take part in the Happenstance Horror Festival, where our video for Spooky Shit will be playing. That's exciting. I hope that the planes are still going. I really hope the government shutdown is done by then because people need to get paid. People need to get paid. And that's what I'll be doing this weekend. After that, I have a little bit of a break and I'm going to hibernate. Of course, I'll do this, though. I'll do the podcast. But until then, I'm going to rest and relax, R&R. So thanks for having me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. It was a pretty brief episode, but I've got to pack. I've got to pack and get ready and, hope I'm going on this trip. Until next week, I'll come back from Salem and I'll tell you all about it next week on Scare a Scream Cast. Until then, I'll see you in your screams.